Hi guys, it's Jessica. Welcome and welcome back to the Not Carrie Bradshaw YouTube channel. I am so excited to finally be talking about season 2 of Interview with a Vampire. I am going to be reviewing this season episode by episode for spooky season. I meant to start this last week, but I got a wicked sinus infection. You can probably still hear it a little bit. I'm getting over it. I feel better. We are here. We are delayed, not denied. Okay, so let's get right into it. So when we last left our merry band of vampires, our family, our clique, which we're really just counting Louis and Claudia, okay? They were plotting on how to take out Lestat because Lestat was abusive. Lestat didn't really want to share Louis with Claudia. Lestat also got to navigate the world as the most privileged that a white man can be. It's not only being white, it's not only being blonde hair, blue-eyed, it's not only being conventionally attractive, it's also being like actually powerful and immortal. So he can't really relate to some of the things that Louis and Claudia have to endure as Black beings. Like, yeah, you might have the higher ground as like a non-living being who's powerful, but you still have to navigate the world as a Black person. And Lestat just didn't really seem to understand that, and also didn't really understand Louis's need for family. That's what Louis had and was taken away from him for a number of reasons. His family basically like pushed him away. And I think I talked about this in my video when I talked about season 1 as a whole. When we don't allow people into our communities for various reasons that are like no fault of their own, you push them into vulnerable states where they end up doing shit like this. Okay, you end up now your kid's a vampire, right? We know that Louis's mom blamed him for his brother's suicide, and this is where he found himself. So Claudia and Louis come up with this plot to take Lestat out, but Louis can't completely go through with it, and instead of burning Lestat's body, he leaves him outside where he goes to a dump, and we know that he can eventually feed on rats and regenerate. Like, he didn't actually deliver him a death blow. So we also find out that present day Armand is actually Louis' lover, and Mr. Malloy is like, what the fuck y'all got going on? And Armand is not really fond of this process, doesn't really want Mr. Malloy to even be, or Louis to be sharing this story with him. Like, he doesn't want to really participate in this, but it becomes really evident as the episode goes on that Louis needs this because he's trying really hard to remember his sister slash daughter, his family, right? And what happened to them. So they have Claudia's journals, but then there are these missing pages where they were taken out intentionally. And I'm curious, like, what Armand doesn't want to be seen or known about him in these pages. So I'm very excited to see where this season goes because I only heard the best things about it. So Louis and Claudia find themselves in Eastern Europe around, this is World War II. It's war torn. I'm absolutely obsessed with Claudia's ability to pick up the language and navigate this space, and they're taking on these false identities, and they've come to this place where they suspect that there are other vampires because that's what they really want to do. They want to go out into the world and find more people who are like them. And Claudia is saying, listen, of the vampires who I've known, they've all been horrible people. I want to find someone who is like us, who can show me that this existence isn't completely horrible the entire time. Somebody who is like us has to be a decent person, has to feel like family. And I think that that's speaking to something that marginalized people can relate to, period. You just want to be in a place that feels like home. You want to be with people who feel like home. And if you've only encountered people who should be like you and they have pushed you away or made you feel rejected, that gives you a certain kind of depression. So she's like, I want to find our kind. And unfortunately, marginalized people can speak to this, or people, period, who are looking for like their community. Every person who looks like you, who lives like you, who identifies like you, may not be your people. So they run up on these old world vampires who are just completely like way out there, completely different from them. They are like ancient people, and they run up on the, like, it's like a creature, and then Claudia kills this creature, and then this creature's mother is like, oh my god, you killed my child. So they follow her to this like house, and Claudia's like, you know, you can come with us back across the sea, and you know, you need to get fresh blood, you need more blood. The blood of these people isn't good. It's why you can't get warm, because these people are sad. They have been battled and beaten. And that woman was like, oh, that sounds nice, and then throws herself on a fire. Baby, I was like, I kind of felt like it was coming, because I'm looking at her and it's like, how y'all gonna clean her up or something? How are y'all gonna transport this woman to America? Like, let's think this through. What is this gonna look like for everyone involved? Like, including me, and I'm not even there. What is this? What y'all gonna do with her? Okay. So she threw herself on a fire, and I think that this made Louis afraid for Claudia as well, of like, no matter how hopeless things get, you don't have to do that. Even if you are the only one of you, you are enough. Even if you're the last vampire, you are enough. Now, what we also see is that Louis has been seeing kind of this apparition of Lestat, and we don't know if it's an apparition, if it's his subconscious, or if it's like Claudia said, like, you've been carrying him in your heart, that he's like talking to Louis and telling him, I'm gonna come back when you're happy. That is some devious shit. And let me tell you another thing. That is just like a man. Because I do believe that men across identities, you could be a vampire, you could be a monster, you could be a werewolf, you could be a human, you could be black, you could be white, you could be Asian. There is something about a man can tell right when you're about to be over him, right when you are just at the precipice of your healing from that relationship, and they will circle the block right then and there to test you. And don't you go back. I don't know who needs to hear this, but don't go back. Fight that. You fight that with everything in you. Fight that with the power of 1,000 suns, okay? So as Louis is saying to Claudia, they decide that they're going to leave this war-torn part of Eastern Europe and go to Paris. And Louis is telling Claudia, our life is shit. Yes, but I am in this with you, and even if you are the last one, you are more than enough. But then Lestat is also sitting there, and he's saying, me and you and me. And I'm like, is he talking to Claudia, or is he talking to Lestat, or is he talking to Claudia in front of Lestat, so Lestat can know this is who I'm like really riding for? I can't tell. Maybe it's both. But I'm very excited to see what happens to our sibling slash father-daughter duo in Paris. So come back so we can talk about season 2, episode 2 of Interview with the Vampire. And I did just see that apparently they got greenlit for the next iteration of this, which is the Vampire Lestat. So I'm excited for that. And we'll talk soon. Happy spooky season, guys. Be sure to like and comment and subscribe and rate and review. Let me know what you guys thought of this episode or of this season in the comments, and we'll talk soon. Bye.